to Faith Lives with Chill Vibes.
Hey, my name's Libby.
My name's Julian.
And welcome to Bridge Tube.
I was thinking of introducing myself as Dunstan from Stranger Things, you know, the little kid with the curly hair, because it's at that point. I don't know. We mention it every single week, but I am counting down the days till July the 4th, not because the Americans are celebrating Independence Day.
You're getting independence from your
I'm
locks.
getting independence from my hair. I've got a haircut. Hey, if you're watching live with us, why don't you say hello, drop a little comment in the chat box, and let us know what have you been up to this week. I'll tell you what I've done this week. We're going to block up a doorway in our house. I ordered loads and loads of bricks, and I had a brick this size, and I dropped it on my foot this afternoon, so I'm kind of late.
I've never heard you shout so loud.
It was a loud scream. So I don't recommend doing that, but I think I should get a bit of sympathy, maybe some R's in the comments.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully get some sympathy. You got some sympathy.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So that's been what have you been up to this week, Libby?
So I've been at work this week, so that's been normal. We went to the zoo at the weekend. That was really fun.
We did. We saw a lion, a tiger. We didn't see a bear though. The bear
we saw a rhino. We saw lots of animals. It was good fun. We got to see my parents.
And here's the thing as well: the fence around the rhino was literally that high.
Yeah.
I mean, it was about that high. I was terrified.
It was terrifying. But it was good fun. We had good fun at the zoo, so that was nice. Let us know what you've been up to in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you.
And we've got quite a few exciting things planned tonight. We've got a special guest.
We have.
The mighty DW, Dave Wade. He's in the house. We're going to be introducing him a little bit later on. We've got some games coming up. So we've got the advice section again. We've got the emoji code. And also, what game have we got at the end? We've got a new one. We've got Hummer Singers.
Hey!
And so stick around for that. That's going to be amazing. Why don't we jump into the first game, Lily?
Amazing. So let's go to the first game.
Let's see what we've got.
Which is...
Oh, it's not a first game. The first one is the advice slice, the advice deck. And so the idea of this really, and you can do this any time in the week, is to, if there's something you're struggling with, there's a question that you have, and it can be to do with anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be something spiritual. We would give our best shot at giving you some advice.
Totally.
So the advice deck is simply that. Drop a DM in Instagram, send us an email to youth@bridgechurchlincoln.co.uk, and we can give you a bit of advice.
Totally.
So
we didn't have anyone message it.
I've got a question.
You've got a question?
Absolutely. I won't say who it's from because obviously we keep those anonymous.
Amazing.
But the question is this: I am feeling lonely and from time to time feeling anxious.
Okay.
What should I do? So I'm feeling anxious and feeling a bit lonely from time to time. What would be your advice?
Okay, so I would say first of all, it's actually okay that you're feeling lonely and anxious. Like, that's normal. I think everyone at the moment is feeling lonely and anxious at different times, particularly during this pandemic. So first of all, it's normal, it's okay. But there are some things you can do to help with your loneliness and your anxiety. So with your loneliness, you can always message people, message a friend, and you can now actually arrange to meet up with someone. So you could drop a friend a message and meet them in the park even, or something like that, socially distanced, and that will help you not feel quite as lonely. In terms of anxiety, I would say if you're reading the news all the time, stop, because that will just make your anxiety go through the roof. I know for me, I feel more anxious the more I watch the news. So maybe try not to watch the news constantly all the time. Maybe find something relaxing that you enjoy. Whether that's a hobby, maybe that's sport with your siblings or with your parents, or something like painting or journaling, that can really help you. So those are kind of my top tips in 30 seconds.
That's really good. Those are excellent. Okay, I think we're back.
Are we back?
I think we're back. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, we are back. Okay. Our guest for this evening's Dave Wade.
Amazing. Welcome, Dave.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
That is good. Yes, so we're nice and live. So as a quick get to know you, Dave's going to share our 5 minutes of fire tonight. We'd love to do some would you rather questions and find out what would be your preference.
Amazing.
In terms of what you would do. So Libby's got the first question for you, Dave.
I have some would you rather questions. The first one is, would you rather have an unlimited supply of money but never be able to eat Haribo, or an unlimited supply of Haribo but a limited amount of money?
Oh no, the money.
You rather have the money, okay.
I mean, that's obvious because then you could buy like the Haribo.
No, but you can't. You can never eat Haribo. That's one of the
Are you
conditions.
going to give it forever?
Yeah.
I'll just get cheap Haribo alternative.
It's a small price to pay, actually.
That is. Okay, next one is, would you rather say everything on your mind or never be able to speak again?
Oh. I think never be able to speak again. Just to be safe.
Keep everything
I
that
don't
goes
think people
inside.
want to know everything that's in my mind.
Yeah, I think we'd all rather that option.
I think
actually.
it would
That'd be quite
incriminate me
risky.
too much if everything that was in my brain.
All of those
All of
thoughts, that would be
everything.
so dangerous.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, I'm playing it safe for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Would you rather be stuck on an island alone or with someone who talks incessantly?
Oh, alone. You don't even
Think
need to
about it.
finish that sentence.
So it's a well thought out answer. I feel like you put a lot of thought into that already.
Yeah, it's just because I've got certain people in my mind.
Do you want to name them right now?
No, I'm going to keep that one inside my head.
That's a good idea.
Okay, would you rather be too busy or really bored?
Too busy.
Okay,
Yeah,
and the final...
boredom's not good.
No.
So you got to be occupied, I think.
And the final question. Would you rather watch Liverpool win a match live or have a date night with Sean?
Oh, is Sophia watching this?
Probably.
I'll say it anyway. Watch Liverpool live.
I thought you were going to be self-sacrificing then and be like, no, of course
Yeah.
it'd be a date night.
Well, the date night could be watching Liverpool live with Sean.
It could be.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd find that romantic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing. Awesome. So, we are going to hand over to Dave now for our 5 minutes of fire. So, just transition
Awesome.
Tristan, and over to you.
Cool. Well, for those of you that are watching, I just want to take 5 minutes just to talk a little bit about identity. And the question I want to ask is, who do you think you are? And that's a really important question. See, in Psalm 139, it tells us that this is what God says about you and me. It says, you were created in your mother's womb. God knit you together. And it says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And, particularly in these kind of interesting times with lots of stuff going on, I think one of the biggest questions we've got, all of us have, is this question around identity. Who am I? Am I worth something? What do people think of me? And I just want to talk a little bit about what our true identity is. I don't know, for those of you that are watching, whether you are Christians, whether you wouldn't call yourself a Christian, but I want to talk at this moment from God's perspective, because I think when we understand how God views us, when we understand how God has designed us, when we understand the plans that God has for us, I think it really helps us to understand our identity. And so you might have a smartphone or a pen or a piece of paper. I'm actually going to ask you 4 questions. And of those questions, I'm going to get you to think a little bit about them, and then I'm going to talk off the back of them. Here's the first question I want to ask you. You may want to write this down or type it into your phone. I want you to write down 3 things that you do really well. What are 3 things that you are really good at? What are some of your gifts and your talents? I want you just to take literally 10 seconds to type those up. So some of my gifts will be 1, 2, 3. I want you to think about those things. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to write down 1, 2, or 3 things that you don't do well. What are some of the things that actually, if we were going to ask someone to do something, a particular thing, you wouldn't be the person to ask on that because you just don't do it very well. We've all got strengths, we've all got weaknesses, but what are some of the things that are not strengths of yours? What are some of the things that you don't do well? What are some of the skills that you don't have? The next thing I want to ask you is, how would you describe your personality? So if someone was talking about you and they say, oh, Dave is like this, what would they say? What are some of your attributes for your personality? Maybe you're someone that likes to tell jokes, or maybe you're someone that likes to have a laugh all the time, or maybe you're someone that kind of takes time to think things through a lot. How would you describe your personality? And the fourth thing I want to ask you, and this is a really difficult question that I think a lot of people struggle to answer this question because of low self-esteem. Here's a question I'm going to ask you. What are some things that you like about yourself? What are some things that you like about yourself? And maybe even when I've just asked that question, you've kind of gone, well, you know, I don't know. Because I think for a lot of us, we struggle with self-worth. And if someone was to ask us that question, what do I like about myself? So let me remind you of those 4 questions. First one, what are some of my gifts? Second one, what are some of the things I don't do well? The third one, what is my personality? And the fourth one, what are some of the things that I like about myself? And the reason that I asked you those 4 questions, the reason that I've asked myself those 4 questions, is when we start to think about God's design, when we start to think about our identity in God, each of those 4 things show us God's plan for our lives. You see, when we ask the question, what are some of my gifts? The reason that you have gifts and you have talents is that God has given you those things for you to be a blessing to other people. So when we talk about Bridge Church and the B standing for blessing, we mean that God has given us gifts to be a blessing. We use this phrase in our church. We are blessed to be a blessing. So when you think about some of your gifts and talents, realise that God's made you that way to be an encouragement to others. The next question I asked you are, what are some of the things that you don't do well? So what are some of the things that aren't skills of yours? But the reason that God has not made you perfect, the reason that God hasn't given you all the gifts in the world, is because you need other people. I need other people. Where other people have got gifts, I don't have those gifts. Where I have gifts, other people don't have those gifts. And that's why being part of a church family is so important. The third thing, what is my personality? Well, you know, we've all got lots of different things to our personality. I think the reason that God has made us that way is that that's what makes us unique. Psalm 139 says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That means you're not made off a factory line. You're not just a replica of someone else. You are absolutely unique. And the fourth thing is, what are some of the things that you like about yourself? Well, the reason that I asked that question is that shows your design. Because God has never made anything that is not good. When God made the world, he said he looked upon it and it was good. And when he made the world, that includes you and me. So if God likes you, if God loves you, then you should like yourself. And you should love yourself. So when we think about our identity, I think it's really important, every single one of us, from the youngest to the oldest, to understand that our identity is in God. And when we truly understand how God views us, we'll better understand how we should view ourselves. So I hope that's blessed you. I hope that's encouraged you. Thanks, guys.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Dave. It's an incredibly good challenge.
Yeah, really good. I think identity is so important, and I think so often we can lose track of who we are actually and who God's created us to be. So that's really good. Definitely encourage you guys, if you didn't get a chance to answer those questions during the 5 minutes, you can listen to this back later and maybe do that exercise as well.
And we'll put a timestamp in the description so you can jump straight to that as well. We're going to say goodbye to Dave. Thank you so much for joining us, Dave.
Absolute pleasure. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Amazing. So we're going to move into the next section of our show, which is
That emoji
code. So this is a fun favourite. I actually don't know what emoji codes have been shared. So Libby has prepared all of these. And because it took me so long last week, I'm going to need your help again. So as they come up, I'd really appreciate it if you could help me out.
Definitely.
As soon as you work it out, let me know, because the chances are, with it being like a 40-second delay, I won't arrive at the answer until you do. We'll get it working.
So this week there's a different theme.
Okay.
I think you'll find this one easier.
That's
It's
always
film
appreciated.
titles. So it's film titles.
Yeah.
So you can bring the first one
Okay,
up.
let me just get my slider up. Here we go, film titles.
Here is the first one.
Okay, so we've got, what have we got? We've got a magnifying glass
Yeah.
and a fish.
Yeah.
Is this a Nemo fish or a Dory fish?
Meant to be.
Is it Finding Nemo or Finding Dory?
You can have both of those answers.
Come on.
That's cool. So that's quite an easy one.
Did you get it? Did you get it? Okay, number 2. Of the emojis
So
is...
this is another one.
Okay, we've got a boy... Is that me?
No, it looks like you, but
Me
it's not you.
with a haircut, and I'm celebrating. Boy cuts hands.
No.
Oh, I know what this is! I know what this is! There's no chance, I'm sorry. If you are age 16 or below, there's no way you're going to get this. And if you did get this, I would be very impressed. I will give you... No, I won't give you £5. I will do a forfeit of your choice if you've got this right. Anyone in the comments, because I know what this is, and I know for a fact 90% of you are not going to know this.
Okay.
Are you ready?
We need to wait for it to lag through. They're only on picture.
Okay, you ready? It is Edward.
Yeah.
Scissor.
Yeah.
Hands.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands. That's a great film, by the way, if you've never seen Edward Scissorhands. I highly recommend it.
Once you're old enough.
What's your how old?
I don't know. I thought it was lower, but you said 16. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll let you know if anyone gets it when it comes through.
Amazing. Number three.
three.
We're running out of time.
Transition
You ready?
quickly.
Transition to, oh gosh, oh this is easy. Phone home.
Yeah.
Is
Amazing.
it ET?
It is ET phone home. It is ET.
Oh, I'm on a roll. I'm loving this. Okay, we've got two more. We actually might crack through all of them. We have got. This is a witch, princess, a ring, and a volcano. I'm not gonna get this.
You will.
A princess witch marries a volcano.
No, it's not a princess and a witch.
It's
You're on the right line.
It is a witch, though.
Yeah, but it's not. Like, for the sake of.
Is it a fairy godmother?
No.
Is it
But focus on the last two emojis.
okay? Ring volcano. Oh, that's ridiculous! It's Lord of the Rings.
It is, yeah.
It is Lord of the Rings.
It is.
Incidentally, my neighbour has named his Wi-Fi Lord of the Kings. Fun fact. Okay, last one.
He might even be your teacher.
Are you ready?
This one's easy.
Okay. Now, there is no way any of you have got this. I know what it is. I know what it is because we watched it like the other day. Begrudgingly, may I add. Equally, I would recommend you don't watch this film.
I thought it was good.
Not because of the age appropriateness, but more because it's just a terrible film. It just sucks. So the film is this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 weddings and a funeral.
It is indeed.
4 weddings.
There we go. Awesome. So that was our emoji code, and we're going on to our new section.
We haven't got time
We haven't
for
got
it.
time for
Hum
it.
Singers.
We'll save it for next
We're
week.
going to save Hum Singers for next week. A new introductory section. So that is a shame. We have got a couple of minutes left though. So what we'd love to do is, are you ready for this? Do you have any last words?
Any last words? We do
Do you
have
have
a
any
few
last
things
words?
to let them know about. Is this the section where we do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we have got a few things that you know about. Obviously, we have church on Sunday, which is very exciting. Make sure you're there. It's going to be amazing. And we also have Youth Connect on Tuesday. If you don't know about that, get in contact with us. We'll get you connected. Zoom Youth Connect. And we will hopefully see you soon. We love you guys, we miss you. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you or help you with. Julian, could you pray just as we end
Absolutely.
this new section?
Father God, I thank you that you love us, that you hear us, you hear our prayers, they don't land on deaf ears. And I pray, God, for our sense of identity in the middle of what we're facing right now, God, that we trust in you, we will look to you. And when we're feeling lost and we're feeling insecure, or we're feeling anxious, or even when we're feeling great, we'll call out to you and let you know what's on our heart. And you're able to bring peace to all of our prayers. So thank you for that. In Jesus' name, everyone says...
Amen. Amen. So stay connected, guys. We love you, we miss you.
Do check out.
Praying for you.
Do check out the service on Sunday as well. I'll tell you this much for free. worship team put together an excellent worship session as well. So do check it out. It's going to be amazing. We'll see you soon. We love you. Miss you. Pray for you. Bye bye.